Welcome back, stewards. Thanks for tuning in to another science lesson provided by the Naturalist Educators here at Truckee Meadows Parks Foundation. My name is Sierra.
I'm Anna, you guys. So today we're trying to find homes for our trout buddies. So we're walking around Oxbow Park and we're gonna see if we can find any habitats that might be good for our trout. So let's check out our first location.
All right, we're here at our first potential habitat release spot. It's a pond. So what do you think, Anna? First thoughts.
Let's kind of talk about what may be the benefits and the cons of putting our trout here. So one easy way we like to talk to the kids is make them think about what is in their tank in their classroom. So let's consider some of the properties that we have out here and compare them to the tank that we have at home. So one of the first things that they have is a bubbler that makes oxygen go into their water. So do you think there's enough oxygen out here, Sierra, or what do you think?
Well, let's think about, where do we get oxygen? How does oxygen get into water? So one of the first things, plants, right? Yeah. Underwater plants. So Anna, do you see a lot of underwater plants out here?
There are definitely a lot of plants on the sides, like reeds and cattails. So those could definitely be putting some oxygen into our water.
Definitely. And also, where else can we find oxygen? The air, of course, right? We're breathing. And so when air touches water, it also dissolves oxygen that way. So, do you think we're getting a lot of oxygen from the air here?
Well, lots of times when oxygen is going to be going into the water the most, it's because of waves. And there's definitely not a lot of waves out here. It's not moving very much. So there might be a little bit of oxygen going in just because it's touching the surface, but I bet if we found water that's moving a little bit more, there'd be a little bit more oxygen.
Yeah. So one thing that I noticed about our trout and their tank is they really liked it when their tank was clean and they had clear water. So what do you think of the water here? We call how clean or clear the water is turbidity. So if it's high turbidity, that means there's a lot of soil and dirt. If it's low turbidity, there's not. It's pretty clear. So what do you think?
I think it's about a medium turbidity. So you can kind of see to the bottom, but there's definitely a little bit of cloudiness and a lot of stuff on top that could definitely maybe hurt our trout or something like that.
Yeah, so
our trout love eating macroinvertebrates. Macro means big and invertebrates means having no spine. So humans are vertebrates, right? You can feel your spine, hopefully it's there. But our trout love eating macroinvertebrates, and there's a whole bunch of different kinds. But our macroinvertebrates tend to like the same things as our trout, so I'm not sure we'd find a lot here. What's really cool is that macroinvertebrates can tell you more about your water's health. So some macroinvertebrates are really tolerant to pollution, but some aren't. So if you find ones that aren't tolerant to pollution, meaning they don't like living in polluted waters, that means your water system is probably pretty healthy. So we definitely want to test and see if there's any macroinvertebrates in here, but kind of knowing what our macroinvertebrates like, we could probably say we won't find a lot in here.
So one other thing, when I'm watching trout videos at home, I notice a lot of time in the wild, they're seen swimming in rivers and fast-flowing waters. What do you think of this pond?
Yeah, so like when we talked about the oxygen, there's not a lot of flowing water. So our trout probably wouldn't like this as much just because it's pretty standstill. One thing our trout might like is there's plenty of space, so they'll definitely have room to grow. But we could probably find plenty of space in a river too.
That's right.
Yeah, you can. So one thing we can see is there's definitely lots of birds using this habitat. So just because our trout don't like this water, it doesn't mean other birds and other animals won't.
All right, Anna, so we looked at all the different things our trout like, the oxygen, if there's flowing water, if it's clean water, if there's food for them. So what do you think of this habitat for our trout?
I think it could definitely be better. So I think we should keep looking a little bit and see if there's any other type of water that we could use.
All right, let's find somewhere else. All right, Anna, we're here at our next trout release site. We're right here on the Truckee River. What do you think?
Well, I think it looks really good. So we talked about some of those other things like oxygen. So what do you think about the oxygen in here?
Well, I see lots of fast-moving water. I see oxygen. In terms of underwater plants, there's plenty of plant life around the water. So I think it looks pretty good to me.
Yeah, I bet there's going to be lots of macroinvertebrates. So they're probably going to be under the stones. They're going to enjoy the flow and all that oxygen. What about space? Do we have enough space in here?
Truckee River is a pretty big watershed, so I think they're going to have plenty of space to become adults.
Yeah.
Yeah. And look at the water. It looks pretty clear to me. We're so lucky to live here in Reno where we have beautiful clean water and open parks. Let's take a closer look at the water. So as you can see, the water looks pretty clear, right? There's lots of fast flowing water, which trout likes, plenty of oxygen getting in there.
Yeah, one way we can tell that oxygen is actually going into the water is from the white caps that we see on the waves. So any part that you see white on the water is basically where oxygen is going in. So we definitely know there's plenty of oxygen in here.
Now that we've compared two different spots, which one do you think would be the best habitat for our trout? Join in tomorrow to find out as we release our video of our trout release. See you then!